Hello again. It is Monday. My energy is a little low, but I had to share this with you. So I was listening to an Abraham Hicks video, which pop up. I don't search for them, but they pop up at random moments in my life. And I'm always kind of curious because when they pop up, I'm like, what's this all about? And I always come away with something big, which is just in alignment because the universe is always working in my favor. It's always working in my favor. This is a core belief that I have. And I heard this nugget today, and I had to hop onto an episode and share it with you. So, talking about the law of attraction and our energetic vibration. I don't know if you've heard this before or not. So I'm just going to go from the beginning, assuming you haven't, in its most base form. I've learned, been taught, been told, heard many times that you attract that which you focus on the most, right? Like how does it go? Energy flows where your attention goes, or something along those lines. I'm sure that you've heard something similar. Basically meaning that if you are focused on thing XYZ happening, and that is where your primary vibration is in support of XYZ thing happening, then that is going to happen. So for example, I'm going to give you a positive example. For example, you applied for a job, you want that job, you know you're going to be great at the job, you've been holding a high frequency vibration about it, you haven't been restricting it, I think we talked about that last time, you're just holding it. You're like, yeah, I would be great at this. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine, but I know I'm going to be great at this. But your energy around that job is high frequency. It just is. So cool. Yay you. And then, of course, what do you know? You manifest that job. It comes in. How could it not? You've been a vibrational match for that role. Now, let's look at it from the other side. You want this job. You want this job because it means more status. It means a big increase in pay. You need that money because you have bills to pay. You want to go on vacation. You need to increase your savings. Whatever. You have all these things that are piling onto it. Your car payments are really getting tough. Whatever. You have all this stuff around it. So you still want this job. You know that you'd be great at it. But instead of sitting there with just open vibration, you're sitting there with this vibration of oh my God, I gotta have this job because if I don't get this job, then I can't do this thing and then I can't do this thing, but I'm trying to focus on the positive and I know I'm gonna be really great at it, so I'm just gonna focus on the positive. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna have this job. It's gonna come through. It's meant for me. It's meant for me. It's meant for me. Totally different energy than the first, right? The difference is that behind that energy in the second example is a whole bunch of no's. All right? Let me give you one more, possibly somewhat more concrete example. Hopefully. Money is so handy for this. So, you have an income goal. Let's say you want to make, I'm going to just pull an easy number out. You want to make $50,000 this year. Maybe that's a lot for you, maybe it's not a lot for you. Doesn't matter. We just need a number. So you have an income goal for $50,000. You set this goal. Maybe you're making $35,000 now, and you're like, I want to make $50,000. When you first set it, you're like, yes, that sounds good. I like how that feels. I'm excited about it. Then as you keep thinking about it, you're thinking oh God, if I get $50,000, then I can finally pay off this debt. And oh my God, this debt, it's just hanging over my head. And man, I just want to get rid of it so much. No, I don't want this debt anymore. I'm so done with this. I want to let this go. I want this to just go away. I'm thankful for it, and you're trying to reframe everything around it. But your energy behind it is no. So here's the part that's like, oh my God, this finally made so much more sense. And I feel all of a sudden like I'm on the other side of this thing that like I can't understand anymore how I thought it would some different way. Right? You know when you have that experience? So in the Esther Hicks video today, what they talked about is this vibration, this like open yes or this no. And basically, I'm going to butcher it terribly, but I'm going to do my best. Basically, the way they explained it is when you, they use this idea of rockets of desire. So you have a desire. I want to receive $50,000 for my salary. That's your desire. You send this rocket of desire out into the universe. Your higher self receives that and holds it with no resistance. It just holds that desire. All right? So you've sent this desire out. I want to receive $50,000. That is a yes. Yes, I want to receive $50,000. Okay? You also send out an energetic frequency that is a rocket of desire of, oh my God, I'm so tired of debt. I don't want to be in debt anymore. Please let me not be in debt anymore. Right? Your higher self receives that and holds it without resistance and says, yes, they still want to be in debt. Okay, more debt. They're focusing on debt. Obviously, that's more of what they want. So, yeah, okay, you want more debt? Cool, we can do that for you. There's no resistance. The difference for me was realizing that both of those are a yes. I hope this is landing with somebody who's listening to this, because I feel like my brain is like I'm the mind blown emoji. That's what I feel like. I know I have been taught, kind of bends my mind a little, but your subconscious mind and the universe does not hear no, doesn't hear negatives. So if you say, I don't want to be in debt, your subconscious mind and the universe hear, I want to be in debt. If you say, I don't want to weigh this much anymore, your universe and your subconscious says, I want to weigh this much. Right? It doesn't hear the no. It doesn't hear that negative. Everything that goes out, it just is. It holds it without resistance, but there's no negative around it. Everything is a yes. Now, if you are in a place in your life where you are like, I'm going to say me, circa 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, I would hear this and be freaking terrified. I'd be like, fuck, like how, if everything's a yes, I can't monitor my thoughts. Like there's like tens of thousands of thoughts going through my head every day. That's just the thoughts, never mind what's happening subconsciously. Like how am I, like what do I do with all those things? That's the work. That's the work. Like it's what I've been working on for years of peeling back layers and uncovering beliefs and healing patterns and healing traumas and emotions and going through those things. So you still got to do the work. That's what it is. But if I hope that this lands with somebody, this understanding that like it doesn't matter what it is you're thinking about, your higher self in the universe always hears it as a yes. So if you, for example, want to have that $50,000, get that job promotion, buy that new car, meet that partner to have in your life, whatever, think about all of the yeses that you're sending out. Are you sending out all yeses of, yeah, oh man, to have that partner in my life would be so amazing. I'm just excited about being able to share experiences with that person. How cool would that be? Or are you sending out, oh my God, I'm like 35 years old and I haven't found my person yet and I wanted to have kids and like the clock is ticking and oh God, like I need to find somebody, but like, okay, but I don't want to put pressure on it because I'm learning just to like, yay, enjoy my single life and like everything's going to be amazing. But But is it though? Because like, hello, I'm 35, and I need to like meet the person and then decide if I like them enough, and then be like, okay, let's start dating. And then there's a certain amount of time that we should be dating, and then I feel like we probably should be married before we like have kids. But like, what if they don't want to get married? Then that's going to be a whole thing. How long do we live together? What if this person isn't anywhere around? I can't see this person living around. But okay, you know what? Cool. I'm cool. I'm happy with my single life. It's just going to be cool. I'm going to be all right with this. We're just going to roll with this. Okay, cool. I'm fun. I'm flirty. I'm like, yay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, that person's going to come into my life. But like, wait a minute. What if they don't come into my life? And what if they don't come in and like, what if I never meet that person? That is where your energy is going out. You're sending out all of these yeses all the time, but you're creating a whole bunch of yeses that you don't actually want. The last thing that I'll say, because it just popped into my mind, and I love that my brain went down the track of thinking about a partner, like a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, because it helps make this make more sense. I learned some time ago, and I think it was introduced to me as a mantra, but like this idea that what you want wants you. I remember when I learned that, however it was that I learned that, I remember it like blew my friggin' mind. Absolutely blew my mind. I was thinking about money, whatever version of that looked like. I was thinking about money. I'm always thinking about money. Now my thoughts have shifted, but still thinking about money, just shifted in terms of how I think about money. But I remember hearing this and going, oh my God, wait a minute. Hold the phone. I want to earn $100,000. Are you saying that $100,000 also wants to hang out with me? What? Oh my God, that's kind of cool. It's like finding out like that cool person that you always thought would be like, oof, I really want to hang out with them. They seem like smart and interesting and a lot of fun, but like, I don't know. I don't know that they would want to hang out with me. And then you find out that they want to hang out with you too, and you're just like, say what? You want to hang out with me too? You know, like you just think, really? Get all excited. That is how I felt about learning this truth, that the thing that you're desiring is also desiring to be with you. You actually are like trying to attract to one another, but you are in the middle of it going, well, wait, wait, but like, what, just a second. I don't know if it's perfect yet. And like, okay, hang on. Am I perfect yet? No, hang on. Okay, well, what do I have to change first? Obviously I got to change something first. Okay, so then these things are wrong. Okay, hold on. So like, in order for that to come in, then this needs to work out, and then that needs to happen, and then okay, and then, yeah, okay, I think then that would be okay for that thing to come. You're literally standing between who you are, the thing that you want to have in your life, with all this really not helpful energy. So if you think about a partner, right, whether it's a romantic partner or a business partner or whatever it is, this relationship that you want to create in your life, there's two things that I think are really important to know. One, that person also wants you in their life. Just going to let that sit for a moment. That person also wants you in their life. It's not a trick. It's not a game. It just is. You want to be with that person. That person also wants to be with you. In the space in between is all your crazy, right? It's all the thoughts and emotions and reasonings and blah that we put in between it. The other side of it is, if you think about that other person or that thing that you are desiring also wants you, what if you turn the mirror on yourself and go, it wants me. Wait, am I in a place to receive this? Am I the person that I want to be when this comes into my life? Right? Start thinking about not changing yourself. You don't need to morph yourself into something or someone different in order to be acceptable or attractive or whatever to this other thing. But perhaps you are so desiring for I'm going to use my relationships as an example because it's the easiest way I can think of explaining this. Before I met my now partner, many years ago, like 10 and a half years ago, almost exactly, I met this guy that I thought was it. He was the list. He was tall. He was good looking. He was fit. He had a great job. He was making tons of money. He had a big truck. I still love trucks. Still super into them. But like he had a big truck with like a big lift. He made me feel feminine and dainty. And at 5'8", I've never been dainty a day in my life. So that was a big deal for me. I was like, it made me excited. I could wear high heels and not tower over him. And it made me feel good to be in that way. He was really proud. Like, he'd show me off to his friends. He was really proud to be with me, which was like, oh my God, like that. These were things that I wanted. The relationship ended completely out of nowhere. I got dumped on my ass at like the worst possible moment with still no idea why, really. But what came out of that is the relationship that I now have. Now, if me today were to talk to me at 28 and said, hey, yo, the person that you're going to be super happy with is 5'8". They're not making huge amounts of money. They're not like, they're fit, but they're not like, big burly dude guy like you were dating. They love cars, love planes, into all that kind of stuff too, but like don't have a truck. They have whatever. They have their own stuff, their own baggage that they're dealing with, but like they're going to treat you well and you're going to feel loved and it's just going to be good. I would have been like, okay, but like that's on my checklist. Does he have to be 5'8"? Can't he maybe be 6'2"? Could that maybe be a thing? Could we maybe make that happen? And if we're at it, like, I wouldn't mind a 6-pack or at least like a 4-pack. I'm not picky. I'll take a 2-pack. Like, that'd be okay. I'd be okay with that. But like, the person that I was when I was dating my checklist versus the person that I was when I first met Dave, those were two very different people. The person that I was when I was dating my checklist was somebody who wanted that validation. I wanted to have those things, and I received those things, but they weren't really what I was looking for, and I was giving up other big things to try to match the checklist. More importantly, I wasn't who I needed to be to bring in the person that I actually wanted to have in my life and share my life with for decades. When I met Dave, I was a different person. It was only 9 months later, but that year was pivotal. It was 2012. I've talked about 2012. It was a shit year. It was a huge year. But when I met Dave, I had let go of an apartment that didn't work. I would let go of a job, a number of jobs that like weren't lighting me up. I had let go of a lot of stuff in my life, and at the time I wasn't interested in dating anybody because I was like, yo, girl, you need to work on yourself. You need to just like, let's just take a moment because this year has been a wild ride, and let's just focus on me. What is it that I really want? And who do I really want to be? And I started slowly to work into that. I was always open. I don't believe for a hot minute this crap that people will say like, when you stop looking, it happens. If you want a thing, you are always looking for that thing. You are always looking for that thing. You just are. But there's like that active, frantic, oh my God, I really want this person in my life, and like I want a partner and I want to have all these things, and they have to look this way and be this way and make me feel this way and da-da-da-da in order for it to work. And there's, hey, you know what? I would really like a partner in my life, and I have a few things that are kind of on the list. Like, they can't be ugly. I need to be attracted to them, obviously. They need to treat me well. Like there's a couple things, but like, cool. Those are things that are important to me. But like for the moment, I need to just like be me. I need to just kind of chill with myself and like kind of dig into me a little bit, right? You've let go. Really, that's what you're doing. You are in that original example of like just saying yes and not holding a bunch of resistance around it. You're just like, yeah, this is the thing I'd like to create, but like I'm going to focus my energy over here right now because like this I feel needs my attention. And then like out of nowhere, it worked out. Now here's the other part, because this is only my half of the story. Here's the other half of the story. So I met Dave when I was 29, and I spent much of my 20s, whenever girls start thinking about boys, what is that, 12, 11, who knows, thinking about this person that I wanted in my life, right? And somebody said something to me somewhere in my 20s, and I don't remember who or when it was said to me, but it was profound, and it stood out to me that like, just because you're ready doesn't mean the other person is. They might need a little more time. So if I had met Dave a year earlier, I can't remember exactly when he got separated, but he was either still married and not yet separated or just got separated from his original wife. That is not a space that I would have felt comfortable stepping into. So however we would have interacted with each other would have been completely different, right? We would have both come into that totally differently. He had hurt and pain and all of this stuff that he was dealing with, and I would have been like, yo, I don't know what to do with your baggage, and it's kind of freaking me out, and I'm just going to run the other way now, right? When we did meet, he'd processed through a lot of that. He was not actively looking, but in a place that he was starting to date and starting to be open to that possibility. So we both had to be in this place that like we were okay for this to happen. We were able to connect in a way that actually allowed us to build something and to build something that lasts. So the thing that you're wanting or that person that you're desiring in your life also wants you, right? They want to be in your life, but there's also that moment of timing and who do they need to be in order to manifest into your life, and who do you need to be in order to be a good partner to that? If $100,000 dropped into my lap 2 years ago, I would not have been a good steward of it because I didn't know. I was like, I've been doing so much learning of money, in particular this year, but like over the last, I'll say probably decade, but like intentionally learning about it probably the last year or 2 years. So if it dropped into my lap, it would have just vanished. However it would have vanished because I wasn't ready for it. If it dropped into my lap today, I'd be more ready for it. Still not totally sure I'm going to nail it, but I'm a whole lot closer than I would have been even 6 months ago. I have this very firm, it's just a knowing. It's like more than a belief, it's just a knowing. I know I have huge financial goals. I know that I'm going to accomplish all of them. It just like sits deep in my gut. It's like in my atoms. I just know. I know. I don't know exactly the timing. I can freak myself out about it, but I know it's going to happen. Speaking of Dave, who's just come home, I'm going to walk to a quieter place to finish off this episode. He's going to be like, Amy, why are you talking to yourself? So let's just go to a quieter place. On the upside, no squawking magpies today. So yeah, with that, this episode has actually gone on a little longer than I thought, but I'm hoping that what I have been saying has come through, that you're always sending out yeses. You're never sending out no's. Everything that you're sending out is always a yes, and the universe holds it without resistance. But there are aspects of that as well. So be mindful of what you're sending out. Think about, don't freak out about it because now you're sending out more of those no's, but just be mindful of it. But also start asking yourself questions of like, if I want to have this person in my life, or I want to have this money in my life, or this job in my life, or this whatever in my life, who is the version of me that is ready for that? And how can I practice becoming that person now? You don't have to have it all figured out. I've learned so many things in the time that I've been together with my partner, but I had to be in a place that I could start. So that's what I'm going to leave it at. I wish you an amazing rest of the day. I hope that this lands. If you liked it, please write a review, share it out, post it on Instagram, hit me up in the DMs at I Dare to Begin. And yeah, thanks friends. Bye.